Okay.
All right. So welcome to the Buzz Hub. This is our first try at bringing together an online community group to discuss all things community, events, people, places, ideas, opportunities. We don't have everything down pat yet, but we are excited to try and generate community interest. We're using a tool through Facebook that will allow us to also have people online so you can see their faces, or you don't have to see their faces if you don't want to. Completely up to you, and it's come as you are and bring whatever information. There's no real formality. It's really just about connecting in the community and trying to make a difference, whether you want to volunteer, whether you just need knowledge, whether you just want to meet some new people and maybe generate some great ideas that would help our community, whether it be people, places, or things.
Thanks, Kelly.
So Davy B, it's Kelly B and Davy B, no relation, but thankful we got to connect. So Davy B put together all of the technical side of all of this, and we're working through trying to make sure that we have a platform that allows everybody the opportunity to get involved and to enjoy some topics that bring interest to not only yourself, but the community. Some you'll want to join, some you won't. We haven't figured out if we're going to do this weekly or as new things come up that would be of interest. We're doing a poll right now on Friends of Oscoda and Asabo to try and generate ideas of what topics. You can go on there, look under the featured tab or scroll the page, and you can either vote in the poll for one that's already up there or even create your own with a new idea. Tonight, we wanted to bring on Dave Carmona, also affectionately known as Mr. Mushnick in the Little Shop of Horrors. Yay!
Thank you.
So we have had a great time getting to know Little Shop of Horrors with all the advertising on social media in town, all the publicity between the newspaper, the reviews, the performances, standing ovation opening night. It was really wonderful. So we'd really like to get some perspective on how Little Shop of Horrors came to be with such a delightful stage. And just a few questions to Dave to try and find out what gives us the opportunity, to participate in something like that in the future. Like, how did you get involved with the local theater? And a little bit about this performance. And then we'd love to hear how you helped build the Audrey 2, because the transition from small Audrey 2 to large Audrey 2 is quite fascinating.
Well, that's a lot of ground to cover. First, the way I got involved this year was we moved into town and knew there was a theater group here. And so we went and talked with them. And in June, they asked me to come and audition for the show. The auditions were in early August. And that's when everybody comes in and does a little bit of singing, does a little bit of talking about the parts. They will take snippets from the script and have them read them and see how people sound. And Rebecca Collier and the assistant director, Brian Boji, sat and listened to everybody, and then they made a decision. And around mid-August, they called us all, asked if we could participate, asked for our schedules, and we had our first official read-through around August 25th. So that's when our rehearsals officially started. Was then. And then we generally rehearse 3 or 4 nights a week throughout the run of the series. So that's how the auditions work and how the selection works. And they try and find the best people to fit the roles. And in this case, they've done a very, very good job of grabbing people to fit the roles for the 4 leads. Matt, Carly, and Patrick are my compatriots in the 4 lead roles, and we're having a really good time doing that. So that's how things get started. To start the logistics of everything, it starts 6 months to a year in advance. They have to have an idea of what they want to do, how it fits in with the rest of their season, and that's where Sue Miller comes in as the executive producer and president of Shoreline, and listens to and picks the directors and the shows that'll be posted for the year. And then it's up to the directors to put together everything else, the technical and the acting and the music. In this case, we're using recorded music, which presents its own unique challenges. And that's how things get started.
So you guys are planning these shows a year in advance?
That's generally what happens, yes, because it takes time to get the rights to the show, like Little Shop of Horrors. Right now is in revival in New York and on a national tour. And so it becomes difficult in some locations. Fortunately, we're off the beaten path here. But for example, if Thunder Bay were doing the show within 6 to 8 months of it being performed here, generally they would prevent that theater group nearby from doing the show again.
Oh, I see. So that's kind of the reason why like Taos always has different shows than Oscoda.
Yes, sometimes that's the reason. Other times they talk and say, we want to do this or we want to do that, and make sure that they're not overlapping. So mostly it applies to like, larger cities like Bay City, Alpena, where you've got the professional resident group. Oh, nice shot of the Skid Row. So
yeah,
Carly's on the right. Yep, that's Carly on the right side of the stage. That's me in the very background behind the, just in front of the window, and Patrick as Seymour on the left side of the screen there. The plant is not present yet. He doesn't show up until later on in this particular scene. So once you get all this done, then you got to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I loved the set design. As simplistic as having that one main set was, it worked for every scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is one of the unique things about some shows, in particular this one. There are several ways to do it. We chose to do it with a static set, and that was between Rebecca Collier, Eric, our technical person, and Brian Boji came up with the design for this. And it's a good design. It works well because we can use the benches as inside the store, outside on Skid Row itself. So it's very flexible and usable set. And that goes into a lot of shows. Sometimes it's not so easy to do that. For example, Bay City Players, they had a fixed set, but the middle of the set opened and closed to reveal the inside of Mushnick's shop, and then closed and presented another building, another stoop for the outside. So there's lots of ways to execute a set with a particular show.
That's interesting. So you guys have behind the scenes that are helping you with all of the carpentry, and I think I got the bill right here. There was a lot of people involved in this.
It takes a lot of people to put on a show. It takes, like they say, it takes a community to put on a show like this. Kathy, my wife, and I, Brian Boji, his wife and son Patrick, who is Seymour, did a majority of the construction on the set. But we had people come in who did specialized things and did painting for us while we did trim work and such. So it takes a lot of different things to make it happen. Somebody needs to find the costumes and decide what looks right for the costumes or doesn't look right for the character. For example, Seymour in his Argyle sweater and the sweater he wears later on in the show. It took a while to land on which of these sweaters were going to work for which situation.
So you have a stylist?
Not so much a stylist. You usually have a costume master or mistress for the show. In this case, the costuming was fairly easy, early 60s, New York. So it was fairly easy for most of us to find something within our wardrobes or in the wardrobe backstage that we would bring out to the director and say, and the assistant director, and say, what do you think of this? How does this work? How does that work? Carly must have brought in about 8 or 9 different outfits throughout the course of rehearsals to get a feel of where they wanted her to go with her costumes. Things like
Yeah, I
me
love
for
how she
Mr.
did all the
Mushnick.
leopard and the pink and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, and how that all works together. That's for this show it was fairly easy, but for another show like Brigadoon, you need somebody to make kilts and all the accoutrements that go with a kilt, those kinds of things. So for this show, that part of the show was fairly easy. As far as learning the roles and the music and stuff, you get your script, and about the second week of rehearsals, we got a set of rehearsals track from MTI Productions, who is the script and music that we're using for this. And then you start memorizing, get on stage and figure out how to move around the stage, what motivates your character to move from point A to point B, and the dialogue that goes with it, and fit the songs with it. And right around the 1st of October, the 4 leads, Matt, myself, and Carly and Patrick, were pretty much off script by then. The rest of the cast got off script right around the same time. So about 2 to 3 weeks before the show, we put down our books and we start learning how, when mistakes come up, to cover them up, and how to work our timing and our choreography with the music. So there's a lot of work that goes into this away from the theater, for everybody that's on stage.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting.
But I see we got somebody named George that joined us. Hi, George.
Yeah, George, you can unmute if you want. We're kind of having an open dialogue. Just we're chatting with David Carmona, and he's given us a little background about how the Little Shop of Horrors came to be from beginning to where they're at now, which is an amazing stage performance. We've got one more great weekend of it. And then we're going to kind of just go into some, if anyone has any questions or wants to talk about anything specific. I made some notes of some stuff going on in the community too. So Gina, you got anything you wanted to ask Dave?
I was actually waiting to hear about the building of Audrey too, because that was really cool.
Okay, so Audrey 2.
Yeah.
Audrey 2 is a huge issue for this show. They looked into renting the Audreys. They were going to use the same company Bay City Players did, but that was $2,400 to rent it for the run of the show. It's a lot of money for a small group. Bay City Players is really well funded. For a very small community theater like us, we are, but not well enough. So they asked, they were aware that I'd been building sets for a long time, for other shows and the Chicago area and down in Bay City as I grew up. And they asked me and Cher, who is very artistic, and her husband, Rich, and the assistant director to come together and have a design meeting. So we all met over dinner one night and came up with some initial sketches and drawings of what we wanted to do, or what we thought we were able to do in the materials, particularly from Cher, the types of materials we would have to support on the structure of the plant. And so we sat and probably took 3 or 4 hours to go over the logistics issues. One of the big logistics is the big Audrey 2 at the end of the show has to swallow me, Mr. Mushnick, Audrey, and Patrick. Has to be able to talk and be able to turn from side to side. In some places, they get fancy and they make it nod from side to side too. But we did not have the time or inclination to get that technical with it. So once I had the basic shape and outline that Cher thought she would like, I came home and built a small model of it, so that I could see what it would look like and what it would entail to build something. And then I looked at online, I found various theaters who had designed and built their own, and took some of the ideas, a little bit of the ideas from each of them, to engineer Audrey. So the way I did it is she's built on a 4-foot by 4-foot platform that's 18 inches high, so that it's easy for the actors to get into the mouth from the stage. And about a foot into the mouth there's a slide covered in cardboard that we actually slide down. So the trick is trying to figure out how to build a mechanism that would allow the head to move up and down, the jaws to move up and down, and the mouth from side to side, and the correct materials that would make it look somewhat like a fly trap or a pitcher plant, that would consume, that are carnivorous in nature. And so what I did is I built a support stand, and I wish I had the pictures on my computer here to show you, and built a gimbal, a 2-axis gimbal for it, so it can turn left, right, go up and down, and then built the support structure for the jaws, kind of like you built the framework for the hull on a ship. It's got supports down the sides that hold on. PEX piping is what I use to make the rim of it. And then over the top, I took the PEX piping and put it in an arc. The advantage of that is when you take PEX piping and strap it together with other things and anchor it, it becomes semi-rigid and is able to support some more strength, some more weight. And so I built that framework, brought it to the theater, and then Cher started to layer material on it, and then add the things you see in the show, like the warts, the lips, the teeth, the vines that go around it, the frill that makes up, it looks like a collar. It's actually skirts that were cut up and made to look like plant leaf material, like you would find kind of like a frill from a fungus around it. And then they added, like I said, the warts to it, did some spray painting on it to give it some additional texture and depth. And that's how we built that. It took a team of 4 people, myself doing the basic engineering and construction, and then Cher and her friend Rhonda, who did this, put the skin on it. Now, the other 2 Audreys were all Cher and her husband Rich. The first 2, the ones that you see that are like hand puppets, she completely designed and built those herself from scratch. Her husband Rich, who is the puppeteer for all of that, designed and built the 3rd Audrey, the one that you see sitting in the corner at the end of the first act before the big Audrey appears. He designed and engineered that all himself. It also uses a gimbal mechanism, but his jaw structure is a little bit different since it didn't need to support as much weight, or it only had to catch body parts. So the bottom of the mouth is a giant gullet that basically throws in the body parts. They collect back there, and then when we pull them off stage, we take the body parts out. So that's how we went about building the Audrey. And like I said, it took a team. to get that done. It's just not an individual effort. And the amazing thing is that when you sit down and you work together to come up with a design like this, and there's a lot of problem solving that goes into it from everyone, a lot of magic happens, like what you saw on the stage.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Do you guys think you'll keep that as like a commemorative and keep it around the theater?
Actually, Sue's idea, Sue Miller's idea is to keep that and then run it out to smaller theater companies who want to do this show, because our cost into it is significantly less, and other theater groups could rent this for a nominal fee, and it'd be a source of income for the theater, but it would allow other theaters to do the show with a pre-engineered set of Audreys.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. We got a few more people that joined us. If you guys have any questions or you want to unmute and ask Dave anything, Dave Carmona is one of the lead roles with the Little Shop of Horrors, and that's kind of how we started our first Buzz Hub, because they are the buzz around town. You guys have got people talking and people making arrangements to go to these fun performances. We've got 3 left this Friday, 5 to 7, and then Saturday, or I'm not, sorry, not 5 to 7, Friday, 7 p.m., Saturday, 7 p.m., and Sunday, 2 p.m. matinee. Hey, Debbie, thanks for jumping on.
Hi, Kelly.
So
I wish I could go.
I know, I wish you could too.
I know.
I mean, we have some people that are like longtime residents here, but they, for whatever reason, have taken them across the country. But it's amazing the amount of people we get that take an interest back in Oscoda. Debbie runs a social media Facebook page for Oscoda on Truly Oscoda. And then she also participates in a lot of the historical stuff. She brought up some great stuff about Cedar Lake. They brought up some stuff about the old Oscoda, the pictures before the fire was downtown. She handles a lot of delicate topics too that bring people, knowledge. And sometimes, people get spicy on it, but all in all, it's all in good faith and good effort to bring about, the best for our community, since we all love and live here. And some people don't live here, but still love it and make the effort like Debbie does. So we're happy that you're here.
Did you see the one I just put up? I put up a advertisement for the old high school for sale. There's a lot of cool pictures in the ad.
Yeah, is that saveyour.town thing that we had talked about on the Friends of Oscoda in Asabo?
I don't know. Someone sent me this link, and it's I can't remember where it was from. It's like a newspaper article, and there's a bunch of pictures.
Oh, okay. It might be, if it's from those guys that bought the school and then converted it into flats. Anyways, we could digress. I was just kind of wanted to bring it back over to Dave. So you guys are potentially going to benefit smaller local theaters with the Audrey 2 and loaning it out. That's a really cool concept of supporting other communities.
Yeah, that's the idea. Last year, when I first came in to build the set for this show, we had a lot of things that Sue had to take back to Tawas. We had borrowed several things from Tawas players for a show sometime last year, and we're just getting them returned. So it's not unusual for small companies to work together. And like I said, it takes an army of people backstage. We have 2 prop mistresses that are constantly working backstage to make sure that the right things are on stage, so that the shop looks correct for the scenes, and that the actors have the right props, like my radio that I come out with at one point, or the little scraper that I have. My wife, Kathy, is the stage manager. Basically, it's her show once we're done with rehearsals and backstage, and she's making sure that the curtains are opening, closed, the music cues are being called, the microphone people in the back are running the microphone cues. And that's a whole nother team that we have. We have a technical director for lighting who does our programming over computer, whose name is Eric. And then we have 2 sound people who are in charge of keeping track of our microphones and the inputs. Paul, who runs the light cues from the light booth. So if you're ever interested in getting involved in a show, you don't have to be on stage. There is a ton of work that goes on behind the stage, everything from costume to makeup, props, scenery, front of house, which includes ushering, doing programs, getting publicity out, running the concession stand during the show, all those types of things. One of the things that everybody's raved about for this show is the amount of work that Jessica Bravata has done with her company in promoting this show and cross promotions with places like Tate's and STS, and from here on out had a painting event for us. So getting the whole community involved and behind a project like this is really important. I see Manuela jumped in and left there for a moment.
I think she might. I don't. Oh, she's
there
back
she
in.
is.
I'm just messaging. I'm messaging with Jessica right now to see if she can jump on.
Hi,
But yeah, I
Manuela.
was going to say she did a lot of cross promotion on your on this event for you guys.
And Manuela, thank you for the wonderful review in the newspaper. That goes a long ways towards filling the houses and helping the theater survive. So thank you very much for that.
Anybody have any questions for Dave about the theater volunteering or this particular show before we kind of jump into maybe something new for the Buzz Hub?
Is
You can unmute yourself.
can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Is it mostly local people that are doing this? Is it all local people?
Yes, it is. People from Oscoda. Sue happens to live over by Hale, who is the president of the organization. Paul lives down towards Sand Lake, who does our runs the lighting cues up in the booth. So yeah, from all around the area, we've got a couple of people in the cast from Tawas who come up. So a couple folks live up towards Greenbush. So, you know, wherever you're at, wherever you're around, if you're willing to make the drive in, be it 15 minutes or half an hour, you're welcome. Come and audition or come and volunteer to do whatever skills that you have to offer us.
Okay. I'm a little bit far. I'm in New York.
Oh.
But you can help promote it.
It's only 12. Yeah, I can promote it on my website, but I'm on my Facebook page, but I'm like 12 hours away. I wish I could.
And make no mistake, social media is huge in getting information out to people in this day and age.
Definitely the way to go nowadays.
Yeah, it really is. So Dave, you guys have a big weekend coming up. So we're excited and we can't thank all of you enough, as well as taking the time to jump on here tonight, because it was kind of cool. We really wanted to find out kind of how it goes. I've always been interested, but I'm not, I don't know, musically or artistically inclined, but it seems like you still have a lot of places that people can contribute and enjoy getting involved in theater, even if you're not up on the stage.
Yes, there is. So, you know, whenever you hear shows coming up, for example, they have Boeing coming up as a March production in May, Steel Magnolias. We may need a whole new set of people to do that, because people generally do 1 or 2 shows a year, or they get tired or have other commitments. So we can always use more people to lend a hand.
He's not saying anything wrong, but how is he the voice of Shoreline all of a sudden?
Why don't you put down contact him?
No.
Who's on here?
Oh, hi,
Oh,
this
Kelly.
is Kelly.
Did I hear Sue Miller's voice?
Yeah,
I
think
thought
it
I
is
heard
Sue
Sue
Miller.
Miller's voice.
Sue, where are
Oh,
you?
thank you for joining us.
Yeah, she's
Sue,
there.
where are you?
Here, I'll turn her microphone.
Hey, Sue.
Here. She's muted right now. I just asked her to unmute, so make it easier.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. Oh.
Somebody's driving, maybe? Be careful.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I know. Some of the people, it was, some of the people, you know, we kind of threw this together yesterday. We've been talking about it. And then we were hemming and hawing with all these ideas. So we're working through the kinks, but sometimes you just got to jump in and do it. So I know some of the folks that we invited to jump on from Shorelines.
Okay, hey, I figured this thing out.
Yay. Hey, Sue.
Hello.
Hi, Sue. I've been telling him what a slave driver you are.
Thank you, Dave. It sounds like you're doing a great job.
Yeah,
Now, we've
I was
been
telling
talking
everybody,
about
Sue,
some
that
of
this was
the
kind of last minute.
backstage positions and things that go on backstage, and how we always need volunteers to help out, even if it's not
Absolutely.
on stage.
I agree. I think that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions people have about community theater is that they think everybody has to be willing to be on stage. And most people find their way on stage accidentally after doing a lot of different jobs before that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what he was telling us. A lot of the different things, like if you are kind of apprehensive, like I'm not a real big, like, I do like to sing, but I got to tell you, I don't think the people around me enjoy it. But it's a great opportunity for people that maybe haven't engaged in any community volunteerism because they didn't know where to start. This is like a really friendly entrance into getting to know people and getting involved in your community.
Absolutely.
Are there shows do you guys usually have them like at a certain time of the year or, you know, on a regular schedule or?
We have a regular season that consists of 3 shows, usually one in the fall, and then we have a winter and a spring production, and then we also have our annual Christmas show in December. That'll be the next event we have coming up at the theater, and we also do 1 to 2 youth productions outside of the Christmas show. So we have a pretty full schedule year round.
Okay.
On the gala too.
And pretty much anything you have to do at your house, we have to do at our house. So if you're not real sure about getting involved, like Dave obviously has had years of experience on stage and does an amazing job. And we've had some folks that become amazing on stage and they showed up to help rake the leaves one day. So again, anything you do at your house, we do at our house. We have to do yard work. We have to clean. We have just all those basic things. And we try and get a group of people together because it's more fun with a group of people, right? And maybe we have a potluck or we order some pizza and we put on some music and we try and make the not so fun or not so creative jobs as fun as they can be as well.
Yeah, that's great. We've got a couple other people that have jumped on that I thought was really nice. Kelly Erickson, who is one of the owners of From Here On Out, and I know they try and support all the local businesses in return. She just jumped on with us. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, how's it going?
Kelly.
Good. We were just kind of wrapping up with talking about the Shoreline players, and we kind of wanted to get some idea generation with everybody. We are trying to keep this to an hour so people don't feel that it's burdensome. There's no rules. There's kind of no structure at this point. We really just want to kind of bring community together to generate ideas, talk about things going on that we can support. People have questions that maybe other people know the answers to. Social media is great, but sometimes just having a dialogue just makes it a little more real and personable instead of typing behind a keyboard.
Exactly. Hey,
So
Sue.
what do you guys got going on it From Here On Out?
Well, I was just going to say, Kelly, should we talk about what we're going to have going on it From Here On Out together?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Coming up on November 18th, we have a murder mystery out of town. We're taking it on the road and we're headed over to Lupton for a murder mystery about the Purple Gang. But then we're coming back home and we're hopping down the street from the theater and we're going to be doing some murder mystery dinner theaters from here on out with Kelly and company over there.
I'm
Oh,
looking.
that's fun.
Yeah, really
When is
looking
that going to
forward
be,
to that.
Sue?
Well, we've got to set our dates, but we're looking January, February, March, or maybe April as well. We're going to see. Kelly and I are going to sit down with our writers, JD and Chris Hawk, and we're going to put together our schedule and get some shows going this winter over there at her place. So that'll be a blast. We're looking forward to that.
Exactly. And then we'll sit down with the head chef and get a menu that is reflective of the mystery.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
So
a neat idea.
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah,
This,
yeah. I
There's
had
a
a
lot going
black.
on right now, too.
this is the former Wiltsie's?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, Davey
I was
and
gonna
I
say, I had-
attended. Go ahead, Davey.
No, go. You go ahead. I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, I was just saying we attended the murder mystery last winter, and we had a ball. It was so much fun. That was over at Tate's, and that
Yes.
was
Yes.
great. So I'm super excited to hear that you guys are bringing it back.
Absolutely. Kelly reached out to me and we've been talking. And as a matter of fact, we just hosted our paint party there with Belinda from Queen Bee Soiree. And it was just the perfect venue for what we had going on that night. And more convinced than ever that we're just going to have a blast with all that space and all the people we're going to be able to put in there this winter, trying to solve some mysteries.
Yeah, and it
I'm
also,
really
you
looking
know,
forward to it.
a lot of people have brought up about, the having it get dark so early and it kind of puts you in a funk and stuff. So I think that's a great way to get people out of their house to still have some activity. And everybody thinks because we're up north in Michigan, when winter hits, we hibernate like bears.
Well, some people do, I guess.
Some people do.
Yeah, some people do. We do have some other stuff coming up. It's 7:49, so we've got about 11 minutes. So I wanted to just take a minute. I wrote down a few things, and people can chime in if you know of any other ones. But we have tonight, it starts at 9 p.m. They're doing karaoke at Idlewise for the Oscoda Underground, which has been kind of a cool thing. Manuela and I went up there for her birthday, actually. I didn't sing, but she did. So that's going on. And then the Red Barn just launched back into existence, and that's a Jessica Bravata whole put together arrangement. And she has got a beautiful setup over there, and she's open Fridays 5 to 7, and then Saturday and Sunday 10 to 4. And then big grand opening for Styled by Blake coming up Saturday morning down on River Road. You can't miss it, the big pink house. So hopefully we'll all
I wish I could be there for that.
I know. Maybe we can get some Facebook Lives or something so people can see it. I know. Debbie, tell them a little bit about what that house means to you.
That's the house I grew up in.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, and when it's so funny because my parents bought it probably in 1961, I think. And it was pink when they bought it. And now it's pink again. She painted it pink.
Wow.
And I haven't been in there since probably 1977 or so, I guess it would be. So I can't wait to go in and see it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what she did. I've seen some of the stuff through the windows at night.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see it. And then, tomorrow at 10 a.m., they're doing the ribbon cutting through the chamber for the Tea Emporium. So it's kind of like their grand opening through the chamber, like the announcement and everything. So they're going to have some tea and other stuff up there if, people want to come out and support that. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. So like I said, we've got the Red Barn tomorrow. We've got the Tea Emporium tomorrow morning. Saturday, we've got Styled by Blake. We've got the the last weekend of Little Shop of Horrors, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday matinee. Artisan Hall is honoring veterans with 46 years of art. I don't know if anyone else has seen that. I'm not quite sure how it's going to be displayed, but they do such a great job over there. And they're going to have that Friday 5 to 7, and then Saturday 2 to 6. And then, of course, Saturday is the 11th, which is actually Veterans Day. We have all our great banners that were put together. Again, another Jessica Bravata initiative with the banners down Main Street and throughout all the downtown streets. Does anybody else have any items about the community?
You forgot line dancing
Oh,
Yes.
that's Kelly.
from here on out.
Yes.
Oh,
It has really blossomed. It has really turned into a family affair. And it's so amazing to come and see all these people dancing. There's kids up there dancing. Everybody's having a good time.
What time does it start, Kelly?
It starts at 7. So the free line dancing goes from 7 to 9. And then after 9, we're trying to turn it into a country bar, but we're having a hard time holding people after the free line dancing ends. So we have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what we can do for that.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're kind of doing the drawing board right now, too. So,
what night is that, Kelly? What
Friday
is the line
night, every
dancing?
Friday night.
Friday nights. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Terry is a great teacher. I got to tell you, she makes it very simple to understand how to do the dances.
Yeah.
are you out
I
there
get-
boogieing, Dave?
What's that?
Are you boot scooting boogieing?
Oh, occasionally, but I was for the first 2 weeks I DJ'd down there.
Well,
that's
Dave
right, I
was
forgot.
shaking
That's
his
how we
thing at
do music
rehearsal.
thing.
But I will be doing some line dancing as soon as this show is over.
Yeah, right now he shakes his booty on our stage.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Monday at 6:30 is the next Oscoda Township Board meeting. Just so if you know people or you want to show up, the agenda and everything is out. Debbie puts it on her page on Truly Oscoda. I put it on Friends of Oscoda and Asable as a event to try and get a reminder. Share it with people. It's just a great way to find out what your township's doing with policy and procedure and tax dollars, get a good insight to who's representing you, and make sure that you, if you do have something you want to tell them, that you take that opportunity to share your opinions and thoughts. There's 2 different public comments at the meetings, at the beginning and at the end. So that's kind of fun. And then Tuesday, Hope Shore Alliance is setting up the Healthy Boundaries. It talks a lot about, we just went through in October domestic violence recognition month. I think is that how it's put together? Domestic violence. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to open it up and ask you guys for some ideas. Davey and I are kind of putting this together on the fly, and we really want to engage more people. So maybe give us ideas or feedback or things that you think would be valuable to see. Not all at once.
We're all thinking. We're all thinking. And we
Like
have
I
one
said-
more event this week too. We have a rental in our house, and we will have Connie Smock or Connie Warrior of Light this Thursday. So that will be different. We've never had anything like that in our building before.
Okay, so
But-
that's going to be what date? Next Thursday, the 16th?
That's Thursday the 16th at 7 p.m. And Connie's been around town quite a bit. She stopped in whenever she's on her way. Matter of fact, she stopped in opening night of our show. She stops in at To the Moon and Back. She was at the Tea Emporium. And I'm going to go on record as saying, I don't know what I believe she can or cannot do, but I have never met a more genuinely nice person. Just like the first time I met her, she's so nice. She's so nice. You can't not like her, So,
Oh, that's great
That's
to
what we
hear.
say
That's
about
really
you,
cool she's
Sue.
coming to our community.
well, I don't think people say that about me, but thank you.
Yes, they do.
They say a lot of things, but I'm not sure that would be it. But anyway, she was just one of the most genuine, kind people. The minute I met her, and then it was funny because one of my board members went on, she was doing a live, and one of my board members went on and was watching the live. And shortly after that, she got a messenger asking her for money. And Connie immediately said, no, don't give money. I don't ever ask people for money. If you come to my event, there's a charge for the event. She says, but if I'm on live and we're talking and we're visiting, I don't ever charge anybody for these events. My Facebook gets hijacked all the time. And she said, please don't ever send money to a link, because it is not me and I will never ask you for money. And she was just, so our impression of her has been, she just seems like such a genuine and kind person. And we've already taken some flack in the community for even letting her in the building. I've had people call and leave me messages that I'm bringing a charlatan to the community, and you know, a lot of other things have been said. And I just want to say that she's just a very sweet lady. And you know, if it's something people are interested in, I hope they get to come out and enjoy it. And she herself refers to it as a show. She doesn't make promises that she's gonna, you know, do anything but try and entertain and or share with people, because she's very big about helping people and helping people's lives be better. So that's the other event we've got coming up.
Kelly Erickson,
great.
you got a comedian coming in, don't you?
I do. On November 18th, we have 3 comedians that are coming in. And they will be performing live. They will also be coming monthly, once a month throughout the winter time. So we're looking forward to that.
Oh, that's great.
Is that a blue show or a family show?
I let them know that they cannot be too blue up here. So probably somewhere in between. It does start at 8, so I don't know that it's really family friendly, but I will ask the comedian if he thinks that it would be okay for children to come or for kids to come.
And Kelly, you were asking for ideas. I think it would be great for you guys to have Robin on here to talk about our library and all the amazing things that she's got going on at our library. I don't think enough people realize what a great resource our library is, and all the really cool programs that Robin has going on there every day.
Yeah, you know what? That's funny, Sue. On the Friends of Oscoda and Asabo, I post that and I feature it I tag it under the featured section each month. So you're right, though. She has everything from English as a second language. Gina, didn't you take a Thai class or something there? A stretch class?
Every Tuesday, I think, oh crap, I was going to go do that on Monday. So I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I mean, she is
sorry
the
about
lady.
that. I got my Alexa reminder on telling me to take the trash out tonight. Sorry.
But yeah, I think she would be fun to have on, and you know, just talk about all the different programs they have going on at our library, because it's such a huge resource for the community. And I don't know if everybody realizes that. And they're great neighbors too. We like them a lot.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Anyone else? I mean, we're right at 8:00. I would love if anyone has a couple more tidbits before we wrap up. And I cannot thank you guys enough, Davey, for the technical prowess, and then just everybody committing to jumping on and just having a great time. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think it's great to talk to people and get personal opinions and hear stories. It just brings a little life and connection to the community. And I'm hoping we can maybe generate a few extra ideas too.
Thank you guys for putting it together.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Hey.
I love
Thanks
to
for
be a
having
part
me.
of stuff like this.
Yeah, if you think of anything, please
is-
message either Davey or myself.
Is this going to
or
be
you
a
can-
weekly thing?
We're not sure, Debbie.
Okay.
That might be too big of a commitment. We
That-
might have to do too much programming.
Okay. Well, just message.
Yeah. We'll definitely try and keep it, regular. I don't know about every week, but every other week could definitely be a thing.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, we're trying to gauge the engagement and see what kind of topics people would like to talk about. So if you know of anyone that hasn't engaged in that little poll survey that we have on Friends of Oscoda and Asabo, please, ask them to come join the page and make their opinions, or you can even add in an option. We just really wanted to be something organic and see what we can grow it into and how it benefits us as a community. That's really the main goal that we kind of came up with. We've got a few other things planned in the future to kind of generate a little bit more of a structured approach to pulling people together in a growth type atmosphere, but this is our first initiative, so thought it was kind of fun.
Well, I just want to thank you both because I think it's a great forum to do everything you just described, and it really can go anywhere with this. So it's awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah, and we're really letting the community dictate where it goes.
Thanks for having me, and let's do this again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can't
for
wait to
sure.
see you tomorrow night.
All right.
Yes, Saturday night.
Thanks, everyone. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
your
All right.
contribution. And Davey's going to get this up on the page, so we'll share it around. People can take a listen and hear the wonderful commentary and everything that you brought to the evening.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right,
Thanks.
thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.